I just talked to the CEO of an incredibly large publicly traded company, which is pretty cool because we have so much cross-pollination in our businesses, which is even amazing to say, except they are mainly email marketers and they have their paid product. They do hundreds and high hundreds of millions of dollars per year, but we have the exact same audience. So in my business, I work with a lot of guys in the finance and business space, and there's so much cross-pollination between the two audiences. They have, 5 million emails of paying customers, and we have 5 million organic followers, and we're getting 20 million long form views per month. And they have a list of all the sponsorship companies that I would want to be sponsoring the guys that I have, and I have a list of that would probably want to be sponsoring their list. As well as, I think they know that all of the different services that they're providing, they should be online. And so there's a lot of cross-pollination there, but I don't even care about taking them on as a client. I would much rather get their sponsorship list. But at the same time, I might swap sponsorship lists and then also take them on as a client. I'm not even optimistic about that because I like working with large companies like that. I mean, I will do it to some degree, especially with how chill the CEO was. And we were both at the same conference at YPO Global this week, and we're pretty philosophically aligned. I mean, she first mentioned my favorite book of all time without me even bringing it up. It's a philosophical novel called Atlas Shrugged, which is basically a 1,000-page story going over a libertarian, free market, capitalistic view on the world, but through a story format. And I remember it took me 6-7 months to read this book, and I was reading every single day because it was 1,000 pages, and it was just epic. And then I got a Atlas Shrugged logo tattooed on my leg, but that was kind of for a different reason, to get a job. But anyway, I think there's going to be a lot of cross-pollination. I mean, I know a lot of the people. I actually know the guy who started the company, which is funny enough. I actually have made a video with him. He was the founder of this publicly traded company, and I did a video with him. So I think it would be pretty easy to connect the dots if you watch all of my videos. But yeah, I think there's an opportunity here to do a massive thing. And so that's just looking for mutualistic alignment. And what makes business so freaking fun. I mean, seeing everything with a complete growth mindset and not thinking that there's just a fixed amount of stuff in this world. And I remember when I was in 8th grade or something, they were talking about fixed versus growth mindsets, and they wanted our summer reading to be on some book that was supposed to enlighten us. And of course, I did not read it because I didn't give a fuck about books or anything. But now, that actually would have been a great learning lesson. If I went back to my 8th grade self, I should have said, Josh, go fucking read this book and have pure abundance. Because a lot of people would say these people are competitors, where both of us, at least from perception, I don't see them as a competitor in the slightest bit because I have a 100% pure abundance mindset. And I think every single person can really crush it. And they already make hundreds of millions of dollars a year. I mean, they're doing just fine. They are a publicly traded company, and they are starting another entity that they said would actually be an interesting sponsor for a lot of the channels that I do work with. But anyway, that is besides the point. They are seeing the exact same thing. I mean, there is absolutely no reason to think that if you win, that means someone else loses, or vice versa. If someone else is winning, that means that you're losing. That is not the case in the slightest bit. In fact, both of you winning would probably make both of you more money, right? Which is a concept that for some reason it is so hard for people to understand. There's hundreds of trillions of dollars that could be made. Why would you think that there is such this fixed mindset on it? And just living in pure abundance of everything at all times just leads to an exceptional life. There's one guy who's actually a good friend of mine, and he does maybe $2-3 million per year, but he can't get any further. And he's been stuck there since I met him 5 years ago. He was making $2-3 million. And every single time I see him, he says the hardest part that he has is finding a team that's incredible and hiring people that are great. But he's not willing to pay for great people. And he's not willing to give people an incentive for them to expand and be great. So he's complaining that he can't find the right people when it's really him being a bad leader and not incentivizing people properly. Because I know for a fact that if he brought people on and gave them a mass incentive, they would want to grow the company. And if he had 6 people that were super pumped up to grow because they knew that if they grew that they would get compensated substantially, then he would go from 3 million to 10 million, honestly, within like a 2 or 3 year process, I think. And his take home would be higher. He would just be paying people a lot more money. I don't know why people are so unwilling to pay money for exceptional talent, especially from his perspective. There's no real difference between if you take home, let's say $2 million in profit or $4 million in profit or $6 million in profit. Obviously those are big numbers, but in terms of your living standards, you're not going to be doing really anything different. And when you're making $2 million a year profit, you already have everything that you want. You already have complete freedom. But when you hire people around you and you grow it and you build a lot more enterprise value, and then you are also going to be able to buy back a lot of your time because these people can do things for you and they have the incentive and they want to. So another thing, and I'm all over the place right now, probably because it's 6 a.m. Or 6:30. The sun just comes out super early here in Arizona. And the last thing I'll say as I ramble on to myself, as I look at myself in this camera freakily, I know a lot of people that have large businesses that don't like their business because they've created a entity that is not fun to be around. And there's one guy in particular that I know that he's told me that he does not like going into his own office because he does not like the company culture there, or he does not like what he's built. When you're building stuff, you think that you always need to follow what other people have done. You have to have like a super stringent fucking DEI office that is in an HR department and all this garbage of things that are not fun. I mean, the reason why you want business to do what you want is to have a fun business, right? I am loving right now working more than any other time in history. I have more fun today than I did a year ago working. And I want to build a company that everyone around me also loves what they're doing. Everyone's making a ton of money. And I love being around everyone. I mean, we as a team right now, we all want to go move in with each other so we can work more and have more fun together. Is that not the most epic thing in the entire world? So that's the plan. Probably middle of June, we're gonna go get a house in Colombia with the gang, and we're just gonna freaking work, and it's gonna be epic. I mean, that's what you would want to do, right? Who the hell would want to build a company that they hate? Obviously, no one when they start, but that is a lesson that I really want to learn from. Even though that guy that I'm talking about, he makes like $50 million per year in his business. That's in revenue. Most marketing companies, he's a marketing company, run at about 20% margins. So 20% of 50 million is $10 million per year. And I don't know if that's his exact take home. He might have some investors or something, but let's just say he makes a lot of money. But he still hates his job, right? I don't want that at all. I would much rather make a $10 million in revenue with a small team that you absolutely love and everyone's freaking is awesomely happy. That would be so much more fun than growing to 50 million because you're in this to freaking have a great time, right? I mean, I just don't want to lose that and focus only on an extra dollar sign, which does not fucking matter at the end of the day in the slightest bit.